starts out with thunder and lightning in a deserted place, right? Enters 3 witches. First witch, second witch, third witch, right? So the first witch is all like, when shall we meet again, in thunder, lightning, or in rain? Then the second says, when the hurly-burly's done, when the battle is lost and won. Third, that will be the ear of the set of the sun. Where the place? Upon the heath, there to meet Macbeth. I come, grey Malkin, then all come together and say, Paddock calls anon. Fair is foul and foul is fair. Over those the fog and the filthy air. Then blackout or whatever. So the next scene has Duncan, Malcolm, the sergeant, and Lennox, right? So they all enter. And so the king, Duncan is all like, hey, who is this bloody dude? And then Malcolm says, this is the man that who fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it. Right? And so here comes the sergeant acting all just so... He's acting all modest. So here's the sergeant acting all modest. And he's like, doubtful is stood, as though spent simmers do, and choked out. And so he's like, no. But for real, guess who actually saved the day? Macbeth. Now, Macbeth, oh God. So he's all like, doubtful is stood as 2 spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art, the merciless Donwald, worthy to be a rebel. For 2, the multiplying villainous of nature do swarm upon him from the western isles. Of kerns and gallows glasses is supplied, and fortune on his damned quarrels smiling, showed like a rebel's whore, but all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smote with bloody execution, like valor's minion, carved out his passage, till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chaps and fixed his head upon our battlements. Now here comes Duncan like, oh wow, that's Macbeth. That he is worthy. He is a G. Love him, right? And then they continue on talking about the battle and how noble Macbeth is and how he's just amazing and awesome and how he basically helped, how he's like helping winning that battle, right? And then in comes Ross. Ross is saying, oh, God save the king. And so then Duncan's like, hey, whence camest thou, worthy thane? And then, so like, where did you come from? What happened? And then Ross, right, who's right here, he's like, oh, from Fife great king, where the Norwegian banners float the sky and fan our people cold. Basically saying they really dare to put the Norwegian flags out there, and it is scaring our people, right? And so, and then he starts talking about the Thane of Cawdor, who basically betrayed them and began a dismal conflict till that Bellona's bridegroom, lacked in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point rebellions, arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us. So, yay, even though we had a traitor, we still won, right? And so Duncan, he's all gleeful and happy, and he's like, you know, Macbeth did a great job today, right? And I'm about to kill the current Thane of Cawdor, since he is a traitor, right? That is treason. We do not like that. So, Macbeth did a great job. Go pronounce his death, and with his formal title, greet Macbeth, right? And so Ross done, right? I got you. Okay, they do a little handshake, boom, ba bam, ba boom, and then they all leave. So next scene, in come the witches once again, because it is thunder, there is lightning, there's a whole shebang, and they said they were going to come back when the setting was going to be exactly like that, right? And so this is where they're going to meet Macbeth. So before Macbeth comes in, the
first witch is all talking about how she met this sailor's wife, got chestnuts. The sailor's wife wouldn't share her chestnuts. She had a husband who went to Aleppo, right? On the ship called the Tiger. And so, since the lady wouldn't give her chestnuts, she's like, you know what? I'm going to curse your husband. And so, she's like, oh, yeah, you're going to curse her husband? Wow, that's so cool. You're awesome. You're pretty dope, right? And she's like, yeah. But hey, for the meantime, here's a pirate's finger. And so, it's like, oh, cute. Love it, right?
and so then there's a drum. And when they hear the drum, they're like, oh, Macbeth is coming, right? And so then they say, the weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus go about, thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace, the charms wound up. And so here comes Macbeth and Banquo. I really need more space, dude. There we go. So, yep. Incoming Macbeth and Banquo, right? And so Macbeth is all like, oh, so foul and fair a day I have not seen. And then Banquo, he says, how far is call it to forest? What are these so withered and wild in their nature, that look not like the inhabitants on earth, yet are on it? He's talking about the witches. Live you, or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me, by each at once her choppy finger laying upon her skinny lips. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so. Then Macbeth is like, if you could speak. What are you? Because you got beards. It wasn't that time, right? Anyway, and so the first witch is like, all hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Glamis, which is his present title. Second witch, all hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor, which is the title he's about to get. And then the third witch is like, all hail Macbeth, that shall be king hereafter. Pause. Yeah. So they set him up. They really are. So then Banquo is like, okay, so you know who this is. You know my noble partner. You greet him with present grace and great prediction, which they just did. The title he has right now, title he is going to get soon, and the title that of him being king and after, right? And so you greet him with present grace and great prediction of noble having of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me ye speak not. Someone's a little jealous. Just saying. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate. Hail, 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 lesser than Macbeth, but greater. And so Banquo is just over here confused, right? And so the second witch is like, you're not happy, but you're going to be much happier. And then third witch, thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So hail Macbeth and Banquo. And so Macbeth is like, alright, so tell me what's going on. Like, he's just confused, right? And he's just like, okay, so I know I'm the Thane of Glamis, or Glams. I know I'm the Thane of Glams, but how am I of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor exists. He lives. He is not dead, right? He don't know what's going on, right? And so a prosperous gentleman and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe the stranger and strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such a prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you. So he's just confused, right? And then, while he's still confused, the witches refuse to give him any more knowledge, so they just leave, right? Vanish, thin air. They're gone. And so now this just leaves Macbeth and Banquo. And so he's like, oh my god, they vanished. And so then Macbeth is like, into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they have stayed? What? And so Banquo is just like, okay, what were the things they were talking about? What's going on? And then Macbeth is just like, hi, your children shall be kings. And then Banquo's like, oh, no. You shall be king. And Thane of Cawdor too. And so then they're talking. Enters Ross. Is that Ross? I really should have put labels on it. Now, enter Ross. This was Lennox, but we're just going to change him to Angus. Yeah. So yeah, in comes Ross, and you know what? Yeah, this is Angus now. In comes Ross and Angus. Right? And so he's like, yo, the king has happily received the Macbeth the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal ventures in the rebels' fight, Mitchie. In the rebels' fight, he wonders, and his praises do contend, which should be thine or his. Silence with that, in viewing or the rest, the shame the self same day, he finds thee in the stout of Norwegian or Norwegian ranks, nothing afeared of what thyself didst make. Strange images of death, as thick as hail, came with a post. Okay, so he's basically saying, yo, they're basically saying, so he heard of what's going on, of your success and everything, and how you were just so mighty and so on and so. And then Angus is like, we are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee. Herald means we are to make you something. So, right? And then, for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition hail most worthy Thane, for it is thine. Right? Banquo was like, oh shit. Okay, what can the devil speak true? He's like, what? Thane of Cawdor, he's alive. What are you talking about? And so, and then Angus is like, so he was alive, but he deserves to die. He's about to die because he's a traitor. So now you are going to be the Thane of Cawdor. And then Macbeth, he has this little like sidebar. Really, William? Really? And so he's like, Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind. Then he says to like them two, he's like, thank you for your pains. And then his little sidebar to Banquo, which we're supposed to pretend that they can't hear, he's like, do you hope your children shall be kings when those that give Thane of Cawdor to me and promise no less to them? And so then Banquo is all like, that trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, when us with honest trifles to betray the deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you. And so now he's just talking to them, and I'm guessing they're just gonna go off, do their little huddle and talk, right? But Macbeth, he's all like, oh, two truths are told as happy prologues to swelling act of imperial theme. Thank you, gentlemen. Right? Then he goes back to his sidebar. And then he's like, this, you know what? Do they even have lines after this? They don't. So, after, thank you, gentlemen, we're just going to have them kind of drift away. Right? And he's going to be with Banquo. Right? They're just going to talk in a little huddle, which leaves Macbeth alone to, like, do his little monologue. Right? This supernatural solicizing cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me the earnest of success, commencing in the truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not. And then Banquo is like, look how our partners rap. Macbeth, and he says it aside, again, little sidebars. I'm guessing he's gonna say it too. He's talking to Macbeth the whole entire time. Oh no. Okay, so we're just gonna pretend that like he is talking to Macbeth the whole entire time, right? In the banquet with Macbeth, you're talking, right? I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm just confused. I was confused on this whole entire thing. Okay, anyway, so Banquo was like, "Hey, look how our partners rap." Aside, Macbeth says, "If chance will have me king, why chance may crown me without my stirp?" Banquo says, "New honors come upon him, like our strange garments cleave, not to their mold, but with the aid of use." Aside, Macbeth says, "Come what come may, time and the honor runs through the roughest day." Then Banquo, "Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure. Give me your favor, my dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king." They're back in, right? And he's like, "Let us toward the king, think upon what hath chanced and more time. In the interim, having weighed, let us speak our free hearts to each other." Banquo, "Very gladly." "Till then, enough. Come, friends." And then they all leave to go see the king. So the next scene has Duncan, Malcolm, Lennox, who is just gonna be him for right now, okay? Because Lennox is kind of. I'm trading off these little stuff because I'm blind. I'm sorry. Okay, Lennox, Donald Bain. Don't know who that is. Relevant, so he's just not gonna be in here. And attendance again. I think those are just other people around. We're not gonna have them here. Okay, we're not gonna pull out everything in the refrigerator. Sorry. Anyway, so Duncan's like, "Hey, is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?" And then Malcolm, he's like, "My liege, they have not, but I have had word that Malcolm is, he's Malcolm. But I have word that the Thane of Cawdor, he has died. He was asking for your forgiveness, and then they chopped his head off. Thank God." Hold up. Does that exist? Does chopping heads off exist during that time? I don't know. We're just gonna say he's been beheaded, right? Guillotined, or whatever you will, right? And then they continue to talk about, oh yeah. Peach Boss. Enter Macbeth, Banquo, Ross, and Angus. This is Angus. You just gotta make sure I continue to have him Angus, right? And then Duncan's like, "Oh, worthiest cousin." Oh, no. I think they do like a little kiss. Whatever. The sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved, that proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than I'll can pay. So he's like, oh my God, you were just so amazing. I wish I could give you more, but this is all I can give you right now. Whatever. Yeah. Macbeth is like, oh, no. I am very loyal to you, so that is all. It pays itself. Like, just me being in your presence, me being your captain, sergeant, or general, or whatever, me being a part of your, leader of your army, that, and serving under you and fighting for your name, that is good enough for me, right? And so Duncan's like, welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo. Now he's talking to Banquo. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known, no less deserve, no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart. I just feel so bad for Banquo, okay? I really do. And then cause like, he's like, I hold you to my heart. While he's like, Macbeth, oh, you're just so amazing. You're just so, and then Banquo, I hold you to my heart. Really? Okay. Then Banquo's like, there, if I grow, the harvest is your own. Duncan, my plenteous joys, wanton and fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are nearest, no, we will establish our state upon our eldest. We need to open up for him. Okay. Our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter Prince of Cumberland, which honor must not be accompanied, invest him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers from hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you. Macbeth, the rest is labor, which is not used for you. I'll be myself in the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave. My worthy Cawdor. He's about to go tell his wife what's going on. Then aside he says, the Prince of Cumberland. What? So let's just put them right there. Sorry. He's like, oh, the Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down or leap. For in my way it lies. It lies in his way of becoming king. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. Let I wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see. He leaves to go tell his wife of the good news, right? Everyone else is still here. Sometimes I really just think they're irrelevant. They're just there, right? And then Dunk is like, oh, true, worthy Banquo. He is so valiant, and his commendation I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is peerless kinsman. Yeah. Enters we're in Macbeth's castle, right? Enters Lady Macbeth. She is reading Macbeth's letter about what he's been through. So she's reading about the witches, about how they said, oh, you're going to be Thane of Cawdor. Oh, you're going to be the king, right? And so one of them came true, but the other is not true yet, as of yet. And he's like, I want this, but I can't do it. Or like, oh, like there's something like in the way or whatever. And so he's like, so she's reading about how, yeah, basically that. So yay. And so after she reads the letter, she's like, you are the Thane of Glamis, and you will be the Thane of Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. But she's like,
I fear of your nature. Like, you're too nice. You're just too nice, right? And I don't think that you have what it takes to get what you want, because it's not his,
messenger. He's like, oh, the king, he comes tonight. And then Lady Macbeth is like, thou made mad to say it. Is not thy master with him? Who wert so to inform me for their preparation? Messenger, so please you, it is true, our Thane is coming. Yay! One of my fellows had the speed of him, who almost dead for breath. The same. Had scarcely more than would make up for his message. Then Lady Macbeth is like, give him tending, he brings great news. Messenger leaves. Right? Here's Lady Macbeth. She's like, the raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here. What the fuck? I'm rereading this. This is a mess. Unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse. So she's like, hey, so Duncan's about to be in my house. If I get Macbeth to agree to what's going on, I can, and if I do this, like, I don't need to feel nothing, okay? That no computations visiting of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breast, and take my milk for gall, your murthering ministers, wherever your sightless substances, you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket in the dark of the dark, to cry, hold, hold. Enters Macbeth. I swear, this has gotten taller, because you're, okay, anyway. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both, all hail hereafter. She's such a, And then he's like, oh, my dearest love, Duncan, he's coming here today. And whence he goes, she's planning. And he's like, tomorrow, as he purposes. Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is a book where men may read strange matters to beguile the time. Look like the time, bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue, look in the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom. We will speak further. Only look up to clear, to alter. Favor is ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me. So Lady Macbeth, she's scheming. She doing something, right? Okay. Insane.
Okay, so I'm messed. So this is what this is gonna be solidified. Alright. Lennox. Ross. Angus. These are the people right now. Okay.
So, the scene as what I just said, because I can't remember anymore. God, I'm so tired. Yeah, he's not here yet. But who is here is Duncan, Lennox, Ross, Angus, Malcolm, just gonna have them together. And then the rest are just like, ooh, I'm here, right? They're just there, okay? Yeah. And then Donald Bain. I don't know who this Donald Bain is, okay? And attendance, right? Oh, and Banquo. Sorry, Banquo. Banquo is also here. So let's keep winning. Okay. Right? You know what? I'm putting you right here. They're just together. Okay? They like being together. It's fun when they're together. They're the party. Okay? And they're together, but they're just gonna surround the king, because who wouldn't surround the king? Okay. Then Duncan's like, oh, this castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly, sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses. Banquo. Okay, so Duncan's just like, oh my god, this house is perfect. It's beautiful, right? And then Banquo's like, oh, this guest of summer, the temple haunting Marlet, does approve by his loved mansionary that the heaven's breath smells woundly here. So basically, they're just talking about how like the breeze is really nice, and how like the house is just so pretty, and just yeah. And then in comes Lady Macbeth. Okay, Duncan's like, oh, here's our hostess. The love that follows us sometime is our trouble, which still we think as love. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God ild us for your pains, and thank us for your trouble. Okay. And then Lady Macbeth is like, all our service in every point twice done, and then done double. Where poor and single business to contend against those honors deep and broad wherein your majesty loads our house. For those of old and the late dignities heaped upon him, we rest your hermities. So he's basically saying, oh, it's a privilege. It's a privilege for you to be in our house. We love you so much, right? And then Duncan's like, hey, where's the Thane of Cawdor? We followed him. We were like literally so behind him, but he came faster and yada yada yada. So he should be here. And then Lady Macbeth is like, your servants ever have theirs themselves, and what is theirs in comp to make their audit at your highness' pleasure, still to return your own. So she's basically saying, my house is your house, get comfortable. And so Duncan's like, okay, give me your hand, conduct me to mine host, basically, so help me find Macbeth, or give me to a Macbeth, because I love him highly, I love him dearly, and shall continue our graces towards him by your leave, hostess. Yay. So we're still at Macbeth's castle, right? And so we have, I think it's like a dinner or something, I don't know. And then Macbeth enters. He's like, if it were done when 'tis done, then where? Well, it were done quickly. If the assassination could trample up the consequence and catch with his surcase success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all, here but here upon this bank and soul of time. We'll jump the life to come, but in these cases we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his facilities so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels' trumpet tongue against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked newborn babe, striding the blast o'er heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only voluding ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. Basically, I think he's kind of like, oh God, I don't know if I can go through with this, right? Doubt. Then here comes Lady Macbeth. And he's like, how now? What's the news? He has almost supped. Why have you not left your chamber? Right? Did he ask me? Basically, I'm at this point, I'm kind of rephrasing or whatever. Know you not he has. We will proceed no further in this business. We will not do this, okay? We do not want to kill him. Okay? He has honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people. Basically, he has given me this title. He loves me, he honors me, and I am noble. A lot of people love me, so I shouldn't do this, right? And then Lady Macbeth, here she go. Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale, at what it did so freely? From this time such I count thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat adaged? Question mark. Prize, peace. I dare do all that may become a man who dares do more is none. And she's like, what beast wast then that make you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. So she's basically challenging his manhood, okay? When he was game to do it, he was a man. Now he's a little wimp, right? Nor time nor place did adhere, and yet you would make both. Sorry, I confused a lot of people. Let me go back. You were a man, and to be more than what you were, and you would be so much more than man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done this. So she's basically like, I've done this before, okay? This is ambition, not ambition, but this is how you get what you want. And he's like, what if we do not succeed? What if we fail? We fail, but screw your courage to the sticking place, and we shall not fail. When Duncan is asleep, here's her plan. Whereto the rather shall his day hard's journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains, will I with wine and wassail to convince that memory, the water of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a line back only. When in swinish sleep, their trenched nature lie as in a death. What cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quarrel? Bring forth men, children only, for they undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers, that they have done? And then she's like, who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor war upon his death? Then he says, I am settled and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what false heart doth know. Ooh, okay. So Macbeth, let's have this shit wrap up, okay? Macbeth is weary about this whole murder act and that him and his wife are about to commit for ambition, right? Alright. The fact that she is encouraging this is all written down on these are my notes, right? The fact that she is encouraging this because she wants the best for him shows her devotion to her husband, or just her own ambition to become queen. Just saying. This can be compared to the second bakery attack, which I just said, honestly. Yeah. But honestly, we don't need what I just said, so just forget that. Okay, yay. That has been Act 1. Yay. And bye-bye.